From taking method acting perhaps a little bit too far, to learning the hard way that you don't possess the same healing capabilities as your on-screen persona, this group of famous faces were left permanently scarred by their experiences on set. I'm Gareth from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 scars actors still carry from movies. Number 10. Hugh Jackman X2. When your character is required to regularly rage around a set wielding a set of knives on each hand, the chance of an injury here or there is understandably quite high. With that in mind, Hugh Jackman has picked up many a scar over the course of playing Wolverine in the X-Men franchise for 2 decades. The second X-Men film in particular proved to be a painful experience for the Australian star, with Jackman nicking the skin next to his left eye, leaving him with a nice 1-inch scar. On top of this, X2 also saw the actor very nearly castrate himself while shooting the flashback sequence at Alkali Lake, coming on the back of a prank which involved his colleague surprising him by having 30 women wait around the corner and throw $5 bills at the star as he sprinted around stark naked. You know, as you do. Jackman attempted to cover his modesty, and you can probably join those dots for yourself. He still carries the thigh scars today, and an anecdote for the ages at parties. Number 9. Joseph Gordon-Levitt Premium Rush. On the epic list of death-defying stunts, you likely wouldn't be quick to throw riding a bike into the mix. However, when you combine that act with an insanely busy New York City, and the traffic-packed roads that come along with the iconic environment, you soon find yourself with a recipe for potential disaster. Which is something Joseph Gordon-Levitt found out for himself when shooting Premium Rush back in 2012. Whilst pedaling on a fixed-gear bike during one of the scenes, a car cut in front of the star, forcing Gordon-Levitt to abruptly change direction. Instead of steering into safety, however, he flew over the back of a cab nearby, and then proceeded to smash straight through the vehicle's back window. This shocking turn of events then led to Gordon-Levitt requiring 31 stitches in his arm, with the film's director David Coep admitting that the whole ordeal was really terrifying. The daily reminder in the form of the scar on his right forearm hasn't deterred the actor from getting back on his bike though. He once again found himself falling off one of the vehicles whilst filming Netflix's Project Power a few years later. Number 8. Zazzy beats Deadpool 2. As we've touched upon already, filming a superhero movie is no joke. Actors regularly find themselves having to put in months of hard graft at the gym before even setting foot on their chosen superset. And once they arrive to shoot, their bodies are usually thrown into some of the most extreme and explosive scenarios imaginable. Zazzy Beetz, making her first appearance in the high-octane comic book genre, quickly found out what being an on-screen hero was all about when it came time to shoot one of Deadpool 2's more dangerous set pieces. Whilst filming a shootout for the R-rated sequel, the actor playing Domino was hit by a stray shell casing in the thick of the action. Beetz was burned by this unexpected projectile and now carries around a scar on her chest for her troubles. One of the film's most memorable sequences, the truck convoy fight scene, also resulted in Beetz fainting on set due to the sheer intensity of the moment. And I, for one, do not blame her. Number 7. Daniel Craig Quantum of Solace. He may not have had to worry about steel claws piercing a hole in his body at any given moment, but that still didn't stop the James Bond actor Daniel Craig from picking up a few battle scars during his stint as 007. While shooting for Casino Royale, Craig was left with a severe lack of 2 front teeth after getting whacked in the face mid-fight scene. Skyfall saw the Brit rupture both of his calf muscles, and he snapped his anterior cruciate ligament battling Dave Bautista in Spectre. He's not had a lot of luck. Yet it was during the making of his second Bond feature, Quantum of Solace, where Craig picked up an injury he's likely reminded of every single day. In the thick of the shoot, Craig was suddenly left without the top of one of his fingers. Though he'd go on to underplay the injury, revealing it wasn't as extreme as all that, I lost the pad. He did also admit that those on set failed to retrieve the end of his digit in the end. Sounds pretty extreme to us. Number 6. Shia LaBeouf Fury. Now, finding yourself on the receiving end of an unfortunate facial scar on the back of a stunt going badly wrong is one thing, but gifting yourself a permanent mark on your mug is an entirely different, far more disturbing move altogether. But ever the intensely committed performer, Sheila Lebuff clearly felt that the only way he could truthfully portray a World War II tank gunner in Fury was by ensuring the various wounds and battle scars on his character's face looked completely legit. So instead of having the makeup department mock up some fake cuts and marks on his cheeks, Lebuff opted to take a knife and slice open his own skin, giving himself some very real scars that are still visible to this day. If that wasn't enough, Lebuff also went to a dentist and had them yank his tooth out in an attempt to get himself into the headspace of Boyd Bible Swan. In a less painful piece of dedication to the role, the actor would learn how to actually drive a tank for the feature too. Really went all out for this one, didn't he? Number 5, Steve Buscemi, Domestic Disturbance. Now, this scar may not have been picked up whilst preparing or shooting for a project on a film set, but as it still came while Steve Buscemi was away working on 2001's Domestic Disturbance, we think it more than deserves a place on this list. Taking some time off in the local watering hole as the actor and his co-star Vince Vaughn were working on the psychological thriller, the pair were caught in the middle of a bar brawl after Vaughn was spotted talking to one of the eventual attacker's girlfriends. The bust-up would end up leaving Buscemi with stab wounds above his eye, in the jaw, throat, and on his arm. But he was quickly treated in a medical facility. Though Buscemi regularly has these deep wounds covered up by makeup when it comes time to shoot for whatever project he is working on at the time, the actor still carries around a visual reminder of the time he got sliced open trying to keep Vaughn out of the firing line. You'd like to think the wisecracking dodgeball star covered Buscemi's next and all subsequent rounds going forward. Number 4, Taylor Hixon, Ghostland. When it comes to performing any scene which involves an actor having to go to extreme emotional lengths to produce the goods on camera, a certain amount of trust is needed between the performer and director. In the case of Taylor Hixon on the set of 2018 horror Ghostland, it appears that trust was misplaced as the star was thrown into a frightening situation against her will. Whilst performing a scene which required the actor to aggressively bash against a glass door, Hixon inquired as to whether the surface was safe enough to withstand such an impact. Both director Pascal Laugier and a producer on set assured her it was, and Hixon would proceed to smash through the door. The fall resulted in her severely cutting the left side of her face and being left with clear facial scarring to this day. Hixon would then rightly go on to sue the production company behind the film for lost work, after needing to take time off to recover from surgery as a result of the freak injury. Number 3, Angelina Jolie, Salt. Not every permanent scar accidentally earned by an actor on the set of a feature comes about due to being on the wrong side of an explosion or getting caught in the chops by an overzealous fight partner. Nope, sometimes an everlasting mark on someone's face can be produced through something as simple as misjudging a role, as Angelina Jolie found out for herself. During a fairly standard sequence being shot for the film Salt, the star was supposed to roll across the floor through a doorway for all to see. Yet Jolie unfortunately got her angles all wrong for the move and slammed her head straight into a desk. Blood began to pour from the wound and Jolie still retains a little scar from the incident. But the actor has since admitted that she thought it was a whole lot worse after the initial bump. In Jolie's own words, "I couldn't hear everybody well, and I thought, oh god, I've done it, I've got a concussion. But it turns out I just still had my earplugs in, so I was fine." Thankfully, a little scar was Jolie's only memento from the hazardous role. Number 2, Sean Bean, Patriot Games. Sometimes the best movie magic is created on the back of a complete coincidence. As the great Orson Welles put it himself, the greatest things in movies are divine accidents. Those moments when the unexpected comes along and adds a brilliant detail or beat to a previously planned shot, taking it from good to electric in, say, the swing of a hook. Said hook swinging paved the way for one of these aforementioned divine accidents. While Sean Bean and Harrison Ford were shooting a rainy bust-up on a speedboat for 1992's Patriot Games. In a beat that was anything but intended, Ford fully connected with his co-star's face with the mighty meat hook, busting open the Yorkshire-born star. Not deterred by the sight of his own blood, Bean continued on with the fight until the action was well and truly in the can. Now, not only do we have a savage scene depicting a very much legit bleeding Bean immortalized on film, but the actor himself had another permanent rugged mark to add to his already unmistakable mug. Number 1. Jackie Chan, Armor of God. Jackie Chan will go down in history as one of the finest performers the industry has ever seen when it comes to actors who execute all of their own stunts and fight scenes. However, with this willingness to put his body in some truly terrifying situations from time to time, the star was always going to invite his fair share of bone breaks, cuts, and bruises onto himself as his career rolled on. The undoubted worst injury the actor ever suffered, though, left Chan with a permanent hole in his head after a stunt in 1986's Armor of God went badly wrong. Chan was supposed to launch himself off a wall and onto a tree close by, and he did. The first time. Then, after requesting to perform the move again, the action star slipped, cracked his head against a rock, and lodged a piece of bone into his brain. Yikes. The hole in his skull was subsequently filled with a plug, but Chan still allows people to feel the noticeable crater in his cranium on occasion. He also suffered some slight hearing loss from the mishap too. Oh, and if it wasn't clear already, Jackie Chan is a goddamn unit.